Everyone, we got a special show today. The SEC just dropped that they're going to go to 9 games. We're going to talk about what that means. I'm Texas Homer. Paul Wadlington, you guys are used to him on Deep Dive, Tuesday morning show, but guess what? We got a special quick hitter for you today. Place you should go is InsideTexas.com. All the latest breaking news, like this, for instance, or team news, recruiting, analysis, all of that stuff, guys. Get Inside Texas for $1 for your first week. As a bonus, your membership includes a complimentary year to The Athletic. Also, guys, we're turning 40. Inside Texas, 40 years old. And we have an anniversary tour, and we want to see you. On Tuesday, August 26th, we are going to be at Big City Wings in Houston, Texas. Happy hour starts at 5, trivia at 7. All the addresses and stuff are in the description below. Wednesday, we're going to be in Dallas at the Katy Trail Icehouse. Come say what's up. And then Thursday, back in Austin, Little Woodrow's on Burnet. Once again, all addresses in the description. Starts at 5 for you Austin folks on Thursday. And of course, my main man, Paul, right next to me, dropped his 2025 Longhorn football prospectus, thanking Texas football, the best preview on your favorite team, SEC opponents, recruiting piece from Eric, NIL, modern landscape of roster management, all of that and more inside of Thanking Texas Football. All the links are in the description. You can get the digital or the physical. Paul, cool news.
And we're going to be playing Cal soon
as
our one P4 non-con.
All right, so here's the new announcement. SEC, there was some rumblings earlier today that was, hey, this could happen soon. And it happened very soon.
It happened soon.
Yeah, it did. They were not lying. So SEC will go to a 9-game conference schedule in 2026. So next year, it's not going to be like in 2032 type of things. So here's the 4 things that they note, and we'll talk through this. We will continue with a single standings non-divisional structure, which we have right now. Each school will play 3 annual opponents focused on maintaining many traditional rivalries, right? So the pod structure we heard about for years. And then each team's remaining 6 games will rotate among the remaining conference schools. And finally, each team will face every other SEC program at least once every 2 years, and every opponent home and away in 4 years. So not that weird thing where A&M and Georgia have never played. So, man, it looks like they solved a lot of these things that everyone's been bitching about even before we got to the SEC. So I think it's cool. So there's some really cool upsides here, potential downsides. We'll talk through that. First things first, man, I want to talk the pods. Paul, who do you think our rivals are going to be? It's not announced. How do you think that works?
Well, the best pod is the Everyone Gets a Trophy podcast.
That's true.
Available on iTunes right now.
Yes, for sure.
A plug. Well, we know our pods. And it's going to be A&M, OU, and thank God Arkansas considers us their bitter rival because we get Arkansas, which is, if we'd had an opportunity, I'm sure, Tennessee or Georgia or somebody would have grabbed us too. We would have had, pretty challenging pod. I'll be very fascinated, Connor, to see who A&M claims as their rivals, right? I'm going to be very interested to see who OU claims as their rivals. We know Texas. Are they going to claim, Missouri? We have
They will claim Missouri. Well, like you said, will A&M choose LSU, or are they going to, pick a bottom feeder? Yeah.
Yeah. I'm curious to see. LSU, I would have to think they'll choose Ole Miss, like an old school, like old rivalry. I would think that, the interesting one will be like Tennessee. Because Tennessee's rivalries are with teams like Florida, Georgia, Bama.
Yeah, which is a nightmare.
They're not going to do that. So they're going to discover it. Well, they're going to put Vanderbilt in there, obviously. But yeah, I'm very curious to see how this goes. Are there any other pod selections that you think are going to be particularly interesting?
Not really. I love ours. And ideally they stagger A&M and Arkansas. Someone pointed this out on Twitter, but so that you're not playing home both years and away both years. So hopefully we can do something where it's Arkansas away 1 year, A&M away 1 year. That would be cool because we know OU has the neutral built in. And it's nice when one of your pods is a guaranteed neutral. Some other SEC teams will have that, but it is cool to have that.
So this decision ultimately, let's scan back a little bit. It was driven by money. Purely.
No, dude.
Shocker, right? So each of these SEC games, the addition of each SEC game adds more television inventory that could be potentially desirable. And it's going to make every SEC team between $5 or $8 million more. You also, when this comes up for renegotiation, the SEC contract, you're going to see that this will be a significant sweetener to what they're offered in 2031. I think that's what it is. So that's going to be interesting. I think it's pretty clear to me that this decision was made by fiat and not a vote of the SEC members.
Well, yeah, because it's going to hurt all those guys that can get to. You talk about this all the time. All those guys that can get to those 6 wins with padded out of conference. Now you're not going to have that fake kind of bowl streak to lean on. The straight middle and below are going to end up looking worse.
Yeah, I mean, like the Ole Miss strategy, who are, they're very much in the SEC upper middle class now, right?
Yeah.
The Ole Miss strategy is 4 ridiculous non-cons where there's not even a threat of a loss. And then you try to go 5-3 in SEC.
Non-cons, I've never even heard of the school non-cons.
Yes. I mean, I did not know, Florida actually plays a brutal schedule, but they're playing Long Island, right? Which is awesome. But yeah, so I think that makes clear to me that the SEC commish and a few of the power brokers that matter most in the conference just said, this is what we're doing. I think the companion to this, naturally, is also going to be a 16-team expanded playoff where there are no buys. I pray and hope that round 1 and round 2 will be hosted by the higher seed. Right now, we only get home playoff games in that first round, which if you get a bye, you don't even participate in that, right? You're going to a bowl neutral site. So hopefully that's also accompanying that.
ADs were mad about that. ADs were mad that they got a bye because they wanted the revenue from those rounds of playoffs. So
that's right. I mean, it's hugely beneficial. Also, of course, Texas likes this from an administrative standpoint. I think the fan experience is going to be mixed actually for this as we play out the implications. But CDC is loving this because we've always given up a home game for a neutral with OU.
Yep.
OU loves this for the same reasons. And, OU needs that money. Texas doesn't really, but Texas always behaves as if,
we'll take it. We'll take it.
We count our wins on the field and I guess on the accounting spreadsheet. But I think that's an integral part of this as well, is you're always going to give Texas a large number of home games. And then let's talk about the implications of the non-con schedule. So go ahead.
Right before we do that, that was a good lead in. Let's hear a word from the one and only Laura Baker.
Hi, I want to tell you about Laura Baker. If you're looking for a new home in the 512 or even at this point, let's face it, 737 area code, there's only one number to call. That's Laura Baker at 512-784-0505. As a member of the elite Andy Allen team with Keller Williams, Laura has helped Longhorns find the home of their dreams in Central Texas. Just ask our resident sex symbol, Ian Boyd, who moved all the way from Michigan to Texas with Laura's help. Laura can help you find what you're looking for in the 512, the 737, or even parts of the 254 and the 210. Just, give her a call at 512-784-0505. Her email is in the description as well as the rest of her contact details. She's a friend. Give her a call.
All right, man. Let's talk implications because the first fear is now Texas is going to play a bunch of tomato cans. And then also we got big names scheduled for the next several years. Are those in danger? So Paul, take it away, man.
Tomato cans? Yes. I think that is going to be the ultimate future of this. You're going to say goodbye to some of these big premier non-con games. And that was something I wrote about when this was sort of looming a few months ago. And I said, that's going to be a mixed bag. I really get a lot of enjoyment from these big non-cons. The rebuttal is in a 16-team playoff, you're going to run into those teams there. That's how you'll get those interesting fun
if
matches.
You make it to the playoffs, right? This is assuming good forever, right?
Well, it's not a coincidence that the committee has been told to adopt more analytics and more strength of record. Okay, these things are associated, right? This is not a coincidence. And we're going to have to see a refinement in the committee in that respect, where they get more like NCAA basketball and they're able to be a little bit more sophisticated. And we have to accept the idea that in a 16-game playoff with this 9-game SEC schedule, in certain years, you could legitimately have an 8-4 playoff team.
For sure.
It could happen. Forget 9-3. That should already happen. Also, you're going to have to play at least one of the other P3s for one of your non-cons. So you're going to schedule 2 scrubs and you're going to schedule 1 P3. people say, well, we're just going to schedule a badass marquee game for that. We'll see. We'll see. Because some of those badass marquee games may not want to play us unless we want to set up a series, permanent series of Notre Dame or something. Yeah. There were grumblings about Michigan canceling on us before this because it gets hot in September. So
it does. It really does.
Poor Wolverines. But, we'll see what happens with those games. But on some future schedules, just to give you all an idea, 2026 is the return trip from Ohio State to Austin. Then 2027 is Michigan to Austin. 2028 and 29 is Notre Dame.
Cool.
2031, 32 and 33 is Arizona State. So, we'll see because it does take two to tango on these non-cons. I'm not saying Texas will necessarily be the one to cancel these, but the other team might.
And I think these next couple years is going to be the test case, right? I don't think unless someone else cancels, I think you keep these return games if you can. Like you said, Michigan was getting squirrely, but I think you test it for a year or two and see how brutal it is. And also, like we said, the assumption is that we're going to be in the playoffs every year in perpetuity, right? So there's big games on the back end, but what if you're not? And so there's always that thing to think about too. So that's going to be, it's going to be interesting, man. You hope that we keep all of these, right? But the reality is, man, what an insane schedule. If you go to the playoffs, 9 games, and you're opening with Ohio State or Michigan, at some point it's a little brutal. It's a little much, even for me as a fan. It's like, you got to think of the realities here that are tough. So the fear is that, it totally makes our non-con a preseason, de facto preseason, or your P5 you schedule is also the weakest P5 you can find, or those kind of things too.
So there's no P5. You got to stop.
You're right. The P3s.
Stop doing that.
Yeah.
But yeah, Wake Forest and Stanford are about to have their phone ringing off the hook.
Yeah.
Props. They're going to be real popular. They're going to be the bells of the ball for that.
Yeah.
For that non-con. Throw Cal in there as well. One thing that will be interesting is I wish accompanying this, and it's not going to happen. I'm just saying this is my wishful thinking. I wish you got rid of conference championship games to go with this, because once you have a playoff and you play this robust conference schedule for the two P2 conferences that matter, the Big Ten and the SEC, what's the purpose of the conference championship game? It's another game you can get injured. It's another game where you're playing a very high level opponent right before the playoff. Why would you do that?
Well, and the worst part is you get no benefit for losing, right? So if you come in number 2, you get double punished. It's conference no bye. At least if you win, you get a bye. So it's like you also can, if you lose that game, there's no reward. You actually have to work harder.
Well, and also on top of it, I mean, this is such the NFLization of the college game, and it's a damn shame. NFL fans don't run around saying we were the AFC East champs.
Well, some do, but yeah.
I mean, I guess the loser
yeah.
fans who don't win anything say that. But I'm an abused Dallas Cowboys fan. I would not be like, we're the NFC champs if we lose in the first round of the playoffs. I don't care, right? The goal is the Super Bowl or bust. So I think that's going to be a real mindset shift that continues for college fans. I wish we could get rid of these conference title games also, because you're creating an even larger gap between the playoff start time and accommodating another week of those conference championship games. I wish you could get this thing started like the NFL. This is one where I think the NFL does do it right. They give you a nice little break, but you get the playoffs rolling pretty quick and you get it going. You're not playing deep into January as you would in college. I mean, Homer, if we go to the 16-team playoff, the standard national champion now is a 17-game schedule.
Yeah.
In college, that is tough. We're 15 years away from the national champion being a 13-0 team.
Yeah.
Right? So that is a huge mindset shift. And I think there's going to be a lot of accompanying shifts that college fans are not ready for, but are going to be forced by this new environment.
Yeah, it's exciting as a fan because you're just hearing more brand names. It can hurt on the back end if you're beat up so bad you're losing games you shouldn't, or that extra little 9th game ends up being tough. But I think as far as presidents, ADs, television executives, I think it's a home run for them.
Well, that's
Especially if they keep conference.
The game has been shifted and created the last decade purely for them, not for the fan.
I mean, I do like
for us.
I am more excited by it. Like I like the matchups we're getting.
Well,
if they don't kill preseason,
because we're in the SEC.
Yeah,
137 teams play in the FBS, Connor.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm talking more broadly than just Texas fan here. It, by and large, if you do the pluses and minuses, this has not worked out for Joe College football fan.
Yeah, they're farm leagues now.
I mean, you're like, as I said on another Alive with you, the minor leagues in baseball and Major League Baseball exist. 15% of those guys are real prospects, and the rest of those guys are there so they can play the games.
Yeah,
and that's kind of what it's becoming for college football. And I just think it's going to be very interesting. I'm not saying let's go back to the old bowl system where like BYU can win a bullshit national title. I'm not interested in any of that. But I am saying I would like to see this experience curated a little bit more for the fan.
Yeah. But big news, man. And we're finally in the era of making moves, because it's like this. It's just been decades of talking about this stuff, and they're making it happen. At least we're seeing less in action and debate. So it is exciting. Yeah,
this sets the groundwork with a 16-team playoff for expansion.
Yeah,
you already kind of have super conferences. I mean, the Big Ten has 18 teams. The SEC has 16. I mean, it's the Big 12 has 39 teams, I think.
And their school's already positioning and getting their lawyers ready to figure out where they're headed.
So we're creating a superstructure and an infrastructure which will allow for sort of endless expansion out to 22 teams. And all you'd have to do is continue to play these sort of round robin schedules. And you'll say, well, everyone's guaranteed to play everybody every 4 years now, right? And you've still got your pod, so you're not going to lose your historical rivals. I'm just very curious. So take a team like Auburn. Here's what's fascinating. Their traditional rivals are Alabama. Do you know their second big rival?
Mm-mm.
Georgia.
Oh yeah. Sorry. Next door.
That's right. And I think they have the oldest historic rivalry in the SEC. And it's a kind of one of those under the radar, like big rivalries where they really don't like each other. So, I mean, what are they going to do? What's their pod going to look like? I mean, I guess they're going to throw them Mississippi State. As what
do you do? Are you able to counterbalance this a little bit? Like, are you looking at the schedules, or is that so many individual factors you can't possibly make a schedule that way? So I love our group, man. Getting A&M and Arkansas back, and I feel more fondly about Arkansas. Like, I like the idea of that rivalry. Maybe because they're not good, but
you ever been to a game up there, Connor?
I haven't been to a game, but I have been to. Okay. I actually liked Fayetteville. I thought it was nice.
Oh, it's a beautiful little town.
Yeah.
But sometimes you may revisit your opinion on Arkansas.
Well, it was weird because I'd bump into people. I'm always wearing my Texas shirt and don't realize it. So people will start talking to me about football, and it takes me 20 seconds to realize. But they were oddly. All of them were complimentary, but it's also that was right after they beat the hell out of us. So they were actually nicer than I thought. But I think I love our pod. Hopefully that's just a in perpetuity thing, and pods don't move at all in the future. But I do like that they made sure that, like, hey, we need to take care of these classic rivalries, and we get
our most exciting matchups are going to happen in the SEC and in the playoffs. I think that's the ultimate future. 2037 or whatever, when we were looking at our schedule. I don't think there's going to be a lot of Notre Dames and Ohio States. So we'll see.
We'll see, man. All right. You guys should also see what's going on at InsideTexas.com, guys. Get Inside Texas for $1 for your first week. As a bonus, your membership includes a complimentary year to The Athletic. Also, guys, all the addresses, times, all of that stuff is in the links or the description below. Come hang out with us for our 40th anniversary tour. We want to see you guys in person. And then make sure you pick up Paul's book, guys. You like what you heard here? There's plenty more of it. All the links in the description, digital, physical. Buy Thinking Texas Football today. Paul, fun day. Thanks for coming on.
Man, viewers, wild day. Thanks for having me. And it's a joy to talk about this stuff because it really is fun and it's going to set the future for college football forever. I'm glad we could do a quick reaction and tell the people what we think.
For sure. Thanks for watching, everyone. Peace.